iconic. And why did it almost disappear? For that, let's walk around, enjoy more of the Eiffel Tower. Hello Gretchen, you made it. Hello Brendan, hello everyone, nice to see you here. Joanna, you were here last year in June. And you also went to the top 5 years ago. Ooh, amazing. I'm so glad you went to the top. Hello, Jane from St. Petersburg, Florida. Ooh, we have people tuning in from all around the world. Nice to see you here. So welcome to the Eiffel Tower. So why is this the most iconic landmark in the entire world? Well, for that, we have to go back to 1889. Disney, you went to Disneyland Paris a few years ago. Sadly, not been to Paris as such. Oh wow, Janet, you went to Disneyland Paris, but not Paris. Interesting. Usually people combine both of them. And you took a photo from the plane. Ooh, you passed above Paris via plane. That is amazing. So we're going to the base and then we're gonna walk around it and go back up to the Trocadero for today's tour of the Eiffel Tower. Tour of the Tour Eiffel. So it's a double tour. We have the pedicab drivers. We have the men selling the trinkets, rushing out in case the police come, which they did, and they all panicked. We of course have some gelatos being sold over here. And let's stop over here before we continue. So no, we are not in Disneyland Paris, we are in actual Paris, the city. So Eiffel Tower, what makes it so popular? Well, for that we have to go back to 1889, the Exposition Universelle, which was the World's Fair of Paris. The World's Fair is a huge deal. You might have heard the World's Fair in New York City. They had two of them. There was World's Fairs in London, all around. Paris wanted to make a huge splash, and they wanted to become a leader in the world stage, especially right during the height of the Industrial Revolution. Paris has been building railroads, they've been building an entirely new city because of George Eugene Haussmann, who completely destroyed all medieval Paris and built a new Paris from the ground up, the Paris that we know and love today. But Paris wanted to be known across the world, and for that they wanted to go tall. But taller than any monument built at that time. At that time, 1889, the tallest thing in the world was the Washington Monument. But not for long, because Gustave Eiffel, an engineer and an architect, went over to the Paris government and said, let's build something that's nearly 1,000 feet tall. More than 300 meters tall into the sky, a big hunk of metal, all combining together 18,000 pieces to make the tallest structure in the entire world. Took only 2 years. Took only 2 years to build the Eiffel Tower. Let's take a look. So hello Janet, you said, I know, right, when came here but wanted to spend time. Lots of police around here. It's rare you hear a police car in Paris. Eiffel supervised the Statue of Liberty before he built the tower. Yes, Eiffel did build the Statue of Liberty on the centennial, 1876. Yeah, you're right. Right before the Eiffel Tower. Hello Mary from Harrisburg, Illinois, welcome. So here we have names that people rarely ever recognize or notice. Here we have Laplace, Dulong, Lavoisier, Ampere. So here we have two names that if you studied either chemistry in high school or in college and studied electricity or physics, also in college or in high school, you might recognize Lavoisier. Lavoisier invented the periodical table of elements. which everyone uses nowadays in high school. And Ampere innovated how to study currents. So all these names are heroes of the new free France. So France went through a few revolutions, and by 1889 France was a purely secular nation, and also it heavily pushed the arts and the sciences, and all these names are the top Parisians of that time. How high up is this? So this 3 stories tall, but looks a little bit larger than 3 stories tall, and that's because it's mostly all metal, and this goes up almost 1,000 feet, 984 feet tall. So I'll round it up to 1,000 feet tall. Eileen, you were here when you were 9 years old, and you remember when you went out to the restaurant, your mom wanted to take her food home like we do here, and they got mad. Yeah, it's not common in Paris to really take leftovers. But I imagine it was a gorgeous view when you ate up there. What is that man carrying the white sack? Those men are selling souvenirs, usually very cheap plasticky souvenirs or made out of tin, and I think they're selling it illegally. You need a permit to like sell outdoors, so since they're without permit, the police usually does a patrol, and they all kind of panic and put it all in a sack and pretend they have nothing. But however, some vendors outside do have permits, like the artists over here. John, in 2016, you'll be back. You were there in 2016. You'll be back here in September 18th. And you will be going to the top. Yes, definitely go to the top if you can. However, today we're going to be at the bottom so we can actually look at the Eiffel Tower. So those are the trinkets that they're selling. They're very, very, very cheap trinkets. So this was about to be torn down, because when they originally made plans for the Eiffel Tower back when they started construction in 1887, Gustave Eiffel signed a contract with the Parisian government to only have this Eiffel Tower for 20 years. Because it was an exhibition. It wasn't really like a permanent building. There was no practical use for it. At that time, it was just purely a kind of show of French pride to the world. At that time, the Exposition Universelle, the World's Fair, drew in 32 million people to Paris. When the Eiffel Tower opened up, 2 million people gathered around to see its opening. But 20 years, if I take time correctly, it's been more than that. It's been 130 years. Well, what happened? Why is this still up here? Well, a few reasons. But before we go to the reasons, why was it going to last for 20 years? Also, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of writers and poets and artists and even architects and engineers all gathered up and signed a petition to the Parisian government asking them to tear this horrible thing down. One famous artist said that this looked like an ugly, useless city street lamp. Well, it kind of does look a street lamp, but it's not so ugly in my opinion. However, the Eiffel Tower was such a huge hit, being such a massive tower, everyone wanted to come here. 2 million people came here the first day. The first day, as they inaugurated the Eiffel Tower in 1889, Gustave Eiffel and the President of France, alongside with many other important dignitaries, fully did a ceremonial climb up the tower. However, when the tower opened up, the elevators weren't ready. Elevator technology was really new at that time, so you had to take the stairs. 1,792 steps to be precise. 792 is the day of the first French Revolution, and Gustave Eiffel did that on purpose. However, 1,792 steps is a whole lot of steps. So the President of France, as they went up 400 steps to go to the first floor, he was tired, exacerbated, and just gave up. Gustave Eiffel decided to continue up on his own with a few other people all the way to the very top. But you see this little thing over here that everyone likes making a selfie as they're pointing it. What is that? Gretchen, your neighbor in Malibu, gave me his Shiba dog. Was the designer for Disney Paris. Oh wow, okay, so you know the designer of Disney Paris. That is amazing. Is he still alive, and is he still based here in Paris? If so, I would love to be connected if you can do that. But potentially I would love to interview him. And Amy, oh my god, I thought Streaming the Magic was female. Oh, Streaming the Magic is all genders and all races. It's different people who take over this page, showing you places all around the world, mostly theme parks. But today we're basically going to a Disneyland, before there ever was a Disneyland, right here in Paris. So that's why you've seen other people go live at the actual Disneyland or Disney World, or I think Disneyland Tokyo was also shown. Oh, look at this. Wow. So we'll see the elevators here. Patricia, when you visited the Eiffel Tower, I think all 2 million were there. I could not walk up until the next person walked. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine how packed it is. I mean, look right now at the massive crowds here. So the Eiffel Tower, at least 7 million people come here per year, maybe even more, because a total of 79 million people visit Paris on a yearly basis. 79 million tourists. That is more than the population of the majority of countries in the world. And also, that is way more the population than Paris itself, which only is about 12 million if you count the metropolitan area, the greater metropolitan area. And it's the most visited city in the world. Terry, gotta be too careful with people stealing your stuff. Yes, yes, indeed you do. That's why I have everything well protected. So people are climbing the stairs. There's two options. You can climb the stairs or you can take the elevator. And the elevator is right over there. Let's zoom in on it. So when the elevators were finally built a few years after it opened, they hired the Otis Elevator Company, their branch here in Europe. Otis Elevator Company are originally American. And after the Americans were bested with building the tallest tower in the entire world, once they got the deal to build the elevators for the Eiffel Tower, the Americans always said, oh, see, the Eiffel Tower is partly American. So they even took credit for it as well. So here's the line for the Eiffel Tower. This used to be open, but now you need to do a security check, which will be too long. today, but let me show you from the outside. So massive, massive building. So back to what I was talking about. 20 years passed by, but the Eiffel Tower wasn't torn down because of that antenna right up there. That antenna right up there was first the radio and then the television antenna. But radio hit and became very popular in the late 19-teens and early 1920s. And then Gustav Eiffel found an opportunity. He said, radio signals are way better when they're sent on very high elevations. So let's build a radio antenna on top of the Eiffel Tower. That'll be a perfect reason to use the Eiffel Tower. And so they built the first ever major radio antenna in Paris right up there. Ended up being a huge success, ended up bringing radio to a much larger range than any other city. And the Eiffel Tower had to stay. Beyond that, Gustav Eiffel started funding studies for the weather and for astronomical studies on top of the Eiffel Tower. So he was finding these scientific and technological reasons to keep the tower, and they worked. No one wanted to destroy the tower because it was actually practical, not just a pretty thing to look at. Or, as I mentioned, some people didn't even think it was pretty. However, I think most people nowadays think it's pretty. It's grown better with age. Here we have the Champs du Mars. This is the Champs du Mars. Paris has a lot of wide open parks everywhere and plazas. Champs du Mars is called after the god of war because this used to be the military grounds, and right behind it is the École Militaire, where Napoleon Bonaparte studied for a year. Terry, you went to the second deck and you just wish we would have went to the top. You were in charge of buying tickets and the views were incredible. So here's a pro tip. If you want to see the Eiffel Tower, so it's rather a strange predicament when you go to the Eiffel Tower. You want to go up the Eiffel Tower, but once you go up the Eiffel Tower, you can't see it. However, there's two views that you can see the Eiffel Tower, actually three views that you can see the Eiffel Tower beautifully and the entire Parisian skyline, and take your selfie with the Eiffel Tower in that selfie. You have to either go to the Pantheon, which I visited earlier today on Urbanist, check that out, or you can go to Sacré-Cœur in Montmartre, which is a beautiful church. It's one of the tallest neighborhoods in Paris. Beautiful views in the entire skyline. Or the third option, go up the Arc de Triomphe, and you also get views of the Eiffel Tower. What's the cost? You know what? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. So wait, I said 3 floors. We can count 1, and we can count 2. Where's the third one? Well, the third one is a secret room, secret apartment of Gustav Eiffel. Gustav Eiffel, after building his tower, of course, wanted to reap the rewards of having its view. So he built a secret apartment inside that he used for quite a while. The secret apartment is still there. I'm not entirely sure if it's in use. I think it was converted into a restaurant for quite a while. And let's continue walking around. Now here are the foundations of the tower. More than 800 tons at each side. Huge, massive foundations. They go, I think, about 9 meters down. So they're anchored into the ground in order for the tower to not move. And this tower, it looks very similar to many landmarks in New York City. Specifically the Manhattan Bridge and the Queensboro Bridge. Well, the Manhattan Bridge was built just a mere 10 years after the tower, and they were definitely inspired by the beautiful metal work of it. Janet, the closest view to the Eiffel Tower by far is the Pantheon. I would say Pantheon, number 1. Arc de Triomphe, number 2. Third, and very far away, is Sacré-Cœur. So go up the Pantheon for the best view of the Eiffel Tower from above. Or take a helicopter. But, you know, that could be expensive. And Gay, what's the cost? I'll put the cost afterwards. I don't know off the top of my head because I haven't been actually on top of the Eiffel Tower. For me, I just rather look at it than actually go in it. Skip the line. The price is 69 euros. Whoa. Okay, thank you so much for putting that in the comments. Oh, that is a whole lot. That's a lot. Again, you can go to the dome at the Pantheon for much cheaper and actually get views of the city skyline with the Eiffel Tower. So we're surrounded by these beautiful Parisian buildings. But get ready because we're going to see the views of the Eiffel Tower from the Trocadero, which is the best place to take photos, selfies, Instagrams, YouTube videos, anything you would like, even TikToks. So here's the line. This is the line just to get into the middle area. As I mentioned, Paris is a very, very packed city. This used to be open to the public, but they recently closed it up. So for security reasons and maybe to charge a little bit extra admission. Here we see more names on the side. Oh, look at that. It's absolutely magical. If you're just tuning in, let me know where you are watching from. Where are you watching from? I would love to know. We have people from all around the world. If you don't recognize my accent, I am from New York City, the other city of lights. But today I'm across the pond in Paris. However, there is a little secret remnant of the original construction of the Eiffel Tower that is right next to it, and a lot of people don't know about it. Well, it's kind of cool. Well, this is my opinion because I love when you see old ruins that a lot of people don't know about. And it's, as I mentioned, each of the bases are 800 tons and they're buried into the ground. The Eiffel Tower itself is 18,000 metal pieces all clobbered together. With that, a lot of those metal pieces had to be adjusted on the fly here on the grounds. So in order to withstand all that heat generated from melting hard steel, they had to have some type of exhaust. And that exhaust had to be a little chimney right over here that remains from the original construction site of the Eiffel Tower. Now the base was built in a rapid record speed, only about 12 months, a little bit less than that, a little bit less than 12 months to just build the base, which was really fast at that time. Lynn, you're digging my colorful shirts. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Cali, Minnesota, welcome. Hello from Harrisburg, Natalie, nice to see you here. Sorry, I just converted your name into a Parisian name, so please forgive me. From Harrisburg, welcome. You grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Amazing. Brooklyn, such a beautiful area. I do a lot of tours in Brooklyn. Check it out, Urbanist. Hello, Jennifer from Gainesville, Georgia. Lynn from Buffalo, New York. Ooh, let's see some crepes being made. So crepes, very popular fast food dish here in Paris. And you can get them sweet crepes filled with Nutella, with raspberry, with a bunch of other amazing things. Right over here. So muy curioso, ahora se hace fila para entrar. No recuerdo ver esta fila. So Francis, yes, if you're watching in Spanish, sí se requiere una fila para entrar ahora. There is a line that is required to enter now. Esto es nuevo. This is new. Let me show you a little bit more of the chimney. Ooh, this is also being restreamed into YouTube. Amazing. Eric La Chica says hello from Naples, Florida. Ooh, hello, Roland from Northern California Bay Area. Welcome. Hello, Glenn. Ooh, if you're from the Bay Area, you might also enjoy the metalwork because it looks very similar to the Golden Gate Bridge. And the Golden Gate Bridge, all these beautiful bridges that end up being built shortly after the Eiffel Tower were all inspired by Gustave Eiffel's work. Tammy from Glen Allen, welcome. Jennifer, you love my glasses. Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Alda, not too far from here, from Brussels. Hello, Nikki from the UK. Ooh, we have people tuning in from all around the world. I was going to ask if you speak French. Then I hear you speak Spanish. Holy cow, I'm impressed. I'm glad you're impressed. Merci beaucoup. Gracias. Thank you. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask me. I have been to Paris already for a whopping 3 days, so I know everything. No, I'm just joking. I know a few things, so feel free to ask me. Here is the double-decker buses. Highly recommend. They're actually a really cool way of seeing the city overall. And there's a trash can. Big trash can. Hey, Lynn, you say since I love architecture, you must come to Buffalo. Only 1 hour flight. I'll bet you fall in love with Buffalo. I have been to Buffalo before. I went over to see George Eastman's house, which was beautiful, breathtaking. I was very young, so I don't remember too much. But yeah, I would love to go again. What was that on the ground? So people are selling like hats and trinkets on the ground. There's trees, of course. V from Texas, welcome. Oh, never mind, that's trinkets being sold. There's also scooters here that you can rent via an app in the entire city of Paris. They're really awesome. They're all motorized. Oh, Lynn, my mistake. Thank you for clarifying. Eastman's house is in Rochester. Francis, you say, am I going to the museum or Orsay? Yes, I'll be going to Orsay at some point. I can't film in Orsay, so I'll be going just for my own personal pleasure. But I'll be checking out Francisco Oyer. And so many people. Yes, there's so many people here. So you can just imagine, here, you know, there might be 50,000, maybe a little bit less than 50,000. Just coming back here to the Exposición Universal, 1889, 2 million people crowding this entire area. However, the Exposición Universal was way more than just the beautiful Eiffel Tower. There was also the Parisian Opera House and many other landmarks built in its honor. And Kenneth, yes, it's a beautiful early evening in Paris. It's beautiful to walk around Paris at this time. So, Exposition Universelle, Paris, Eiffel Tower. Why is Paris called the City of Lights? Well, one of the reasons Paris is called the City of Lights is because the Eiffel Tower, immediately when it opened, was around the same time that electricity was starting to take off. The New Yorkers like Thomas Edison and then George Westinghouse and Nikola Tesla all innovated electricity, and the Parisians quickly adopted it. So much so that they filled the entire Eiffel Tower with a bunch of electric light bulbs. But on the very top of the Eiffel Tower was a massive searchlight, and that searchlight would go all around the Exposition Universelle and put it on whatever was happening. There was really cool shows happening at that World's Fair also. Shows like Buffalo Bill's Wild America. Buffalo Bill, famous American of the West, was here. Also, the man who ended up saving the Eiffel Tower inadvertently, Nikola Tesla himself, was also here. Many other people were here of fame. Lynn, no I have not, but on Streaming the Magic, just like I do on my own Urbanist page, we really don't discuss politics. But feel free to ask me any other questions. Just go across over here. All right, get ready everyone, because we're gonna see the Eiffel Tower from a little bit farther away, but in its full glory, with a little bit of the skyline. Have I tried the hot chocolate from Angelina? No, not yet, but I love the pastries at Angelina. Amazing pastries. Again, I'm taking over Streaming the Magic probably just for today, but if you want to see more videos of Paris, you can follow me on Urbanist. Search Urbanist Live on Facebook, or the tag is in the description. And you'll be able to see more Paris adventures. But also keep tuning in to Streaming the Magic, because I absolutely love that they're doing live videos of the Disneyland parks. It's really cool to show these theme parks that people are in love with all around the world. Just like I show people the cities that people are in love with all around the world. Am I going to the Museum of Louvre? Yes, I am. I've already been. But tomorrow I'll be back, 12 p.m. Paris time, on live video. Stay tuned. Right over there is the Trocadero. Trocadero, named after an infamous battle where the French went against the Spaniards. They won, and they named this plaza in honor of that epic battle. Trocadero ended up being a fancy gardens for one of the French kings as well, especially because of its beautiful views of Paris before there ever was the Eiffel Tower. Right here we have the most important river of Paris, the River Seine. Crucial river that has shaped this city. The reason that Paris is Paris started almost 2,000 years ago, first with the Romans coming here and making the village of Lutetia, and then becoming modern day Paris as we know it, is because of this massive river that goes all around the city and divides the city into like east and west, or left and right bank. Francis, yeah, I've already been to all those places. Check out my live videos. Yo ya he visto muchos de esos lugares. Debes ver mis videos in Urbanist Live. Watch my videos on Urbanist Live. I've already been to all those places you just mentioned. Hello, everyone. Let me know where you're watching from. Have Kenneth. Beautiful day in Paris. Indeed, it is. So here's some trivia. What Disney films have taken place in Paris? Let me know. What Disney films have taken place in Paris? There's a few, and there's I think those few are actually some of the best Disney movies, at least in my opinion. So what are they? Disney movies that take place in Paris. That's just pure coincidence. I did not plan that at all. That was just pure coincidence. Hello, Marisol from Puerto Rico. Welcome. Oh, nice to see you here. I'm also a fellow Puerto Rican. Recently also did videos in Puerto Rico. Sandra, ding, 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 Ratatouille. And also, I think it starts with the view of the Eiffel Tower, with shining its lights at night. So that is one awesome movie. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Boom. Second movie. Okay, we have a third movie. that also takes place in Paris. But this one you have to go a little bit further back into Disney history and hang out with a few cool cats. Let me know. So here it's very challenging to cross. So we're gonna do an entire loop around. Kelly, Hunchback of Notre Dame, yeah, great film. Really awesome music. Here was below the Eiffel Tower, we see one of very few Paris's skyscrapers. Anastasia, yeah, I think Anastasia does, but Anastasia is not a Disney film. It's made by DreamWorks. So technically does not count. But I think Anastasia does have a few scenes in Paris. But there's one other major Disney film, major Disney film, animated, that takes place in Paris. People, they just hung out with some cool cats. Hint, hint, hint. You have to go back into Disney past, before the era of Hunchback of Notre Dame, way before the era of Pixar. What's the third film that takes place in Paris? Souvenir shops here, and here we have a merry-go-round. Yes, Kelly, you got it. Ding, ding, ding. The Aristocats. The Aristocats takes place in Paris. Paris, very famous association with the cat. Cats appear all around in old iconography of the city, especially during the Belle Epoque era. And a lot of people do own cats in the city. So, the Aristocats. So, 3 films. There might be more, but I think those are the 3 main films. Ratatouille, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Aristocats. 3 films that fully take place in Paris. Disney films. So cool. A merry-go-round right over here. So fun fact, merry-go-rounds used to be solely for adults. They used to have actual horses tied up in the actual merry-go-rounds, and the horses will actually move the merry-go-round manually. And after a while, you know, it was a little bit kind of in poor taste to have a horse kind of muling around all day long, this ride in constant circles for hours. So they end up just replacing it with making it mechanical. And once it became mechanical, it became more of a children's ride. So here we see views of Paris. Beautiful work on it. See some of the most iconic landmarks, Les Invalides. Three Musketeers, yes, another film that takes place in Paris, though I don't think it's a Disney film. But of course, that also counts. So beyond Disney, what's your other favorite films of Paris? What's your other favorite films of Paris, the City of Lights and the City of Love? Here are some beautiful fountains in front of the Trocadero. Let's take a closer look. Let's jump into the water. Who wants to go into the water? Let me know. What's the temperature? The temperature is a nice, cool 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, it might be a little bit warmer actually, like 71 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Francis, you say go to the Castillo Loira. Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind. Paris also has very puffy clouds, especially this time of year. It's great for photos. Sure, yeah. The statues. Oh, yeah, let me show you these statues before we continue up the Trocadero. Good point. They're very nice to look at. Viewer discretion is slightly advised. And we'll see more statues up there. So aside from the Eiffel Tower being lit up at night, why is Paris also called the City of Lights? Well, slightly before the Eiffel Tower was built, there was already a tradition of putting up lights in Paris. This dates back all the way to the 1600s when King Louis decided to put an order for all the bourgeois houses to set up lanterns in front of their houses. A lot of the bourgeois did not comply. Also, once you set up a lantern or a candle in front of your house, you're very susceptible to any trickle of water from rain or any wind. However, Paris started really becoming the City of Lights because in the early 1800s, late 1700s, early 1800s, they installed 1,100 gas lamps all around the city. Those 1,100 gas lamps lit up the city streets. They used tilapia oil in order to keep those lamps lit. New York City did something similar. They instead used whale oil, but Paris had many, many, many more, and they had a very uniform system. And because of that uniform system, Paris was the first city to be fully lit up at night. And Paris at that time was a little bit smaller, so it was the full city, but not the full city we now know today. Then electricity came out. And once electricity came out, that system just converted to electricity, but went even bigger. And they had a set rule for how tall the lights could be. The lights had to be either 6 meters tall for pedestrians or 9 for traffic. Also, all the houses also have lit up signs of what they are doing as well. I mean, what number they are as well. England, Portugal 91. You asked, where are we thinking of going next? I'm not entirely sure. For me, personally, I am going next to the Arc de Triomphe later on my page. For Streaming the Magic, you have to just stay tuned, because it'll be somewhere awesome, I'm sure of it. Stay tuned on Streaming the Magic. Hello, Loretta. Beautiful view. It really is. Let's go a little bit further up. Oh, look, Eiffel Tower is being reflected over there. I'm so happy everyone's enjoying these views. Hello, Karen from Iowa. Ooh, nice to see you here, Karen from Iowa. Have you been to Paris before? If anyone else has been to Paris before, let me know. What was the last time you went to Paris? What was your favorite thing? Aside from the Eiffel Tower, what else do you really love from Paris? Hey, England and Portugal 91, you're so welcome. I'm so happy I can share a little bit about the history of Paris. Alright, we're going up. Get ready. It's going to be a beautiful view. Here's Trocadero, the plaza, right at the base of the Eiffel Tower. Built in this art moderne style. Very similar to what you see all around Italy. Oh my God. Wow. It's packed with people for very good reason. Because brace yourselves for this amazing, breathtaking view of Paris from the Trocadero. So there it is, Paris, everyone. Best place to take a selfie. You'll see a lot of people taking selfies, a lot of people doing the pose of pushing out. Let me actually show you from this perspective. Pushing out the Eiffel Tower or pinching it. Doing right. Ah, there we go. Yeah, right there. When you pinch it, it hurts a little bit. Hello, Michelle. Nice to see you here. Mary, you were here in 1999 and then 3 years ago. You're watching from Las Vegas. Welcome. Hello, Marisol. A lot of people are pinching it, but I don't know. For some reason, you know, they're not getting hurt from it. I don't think they're pinching it for real. Yes, I'm taking over, streaming the magic. Okay, so if you have any last remaining questions for these final 5 minutes that I'm live, let me know. Feel free to ask. Right behind it, we have the Trocadero Gardens. So let me show you a little bit of peek of it from this way. Feel free to ask me any last minute questions about Paris, about traveling to Paris, or about Disney films in Paris. All right? So if you want to see Disney films in Paris, check out Ratatouille, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Aristocats. They all take place in different eras of Paris also, so it's really cool. You get like a full view of Paris if you see those 3 films. Wow. Sometimes you gotta breathe it in and just enjoy the views. Beautiful. Well, Alda, I know I am very well prepared. In Paris, just make sure you either keep things deep inside your book bag or have one of those inside pockets. Dina, yeah, beautiful views, gorgeous, breathtaking, magical. That's why people have so much associations with Paris being the city of love, lights, magic, wonder, all the beautiful adjectives. So many amazing songs have been written here as well. La Vie en Rose, Champs-Élysées by Joe Dassin, all the beautiful songs by Jacques Brel. So much great music here as well. If you have a favorite song of Paris, let me know in the comments.
I'll show you all the photos that
show you a little bit of the gardens. So the gardens, we won't have time to see it today, but they are right down there. So don't stop your journey here. Continue down there later if you're visiting Paris. And here's a little bit of the beautiful streets. The sky looks like it's painted. It really does. I mean, Paris, the entire city looks like it's painted. It's absolutely breathtaking. One of the most prettiest cities I've ever seen in my life. Holly, you were just here in June. Oh, amazing. Alda. Yes, he might have been Belgian, but he still sung about Paris and sung it in French. But also there's many great Americans that sung in Paris and about Paris, like Cole Porter with the amazing song Let's Do It, Let's Fall in Love. So I still consider that as amazing Parisian songs. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for all your comments and hearts and likes. That's so awesome. If you want to see more videos of going all around the world to theme parks, showing you all the wonders of Disneylands all around the world, just check out Streaming the Magic. Follow this page. You'll see more live videos. Maybe for me one day, if I go to a Disneyland or Disney World personally, I'll give you the history of Disney World if I take over again. Or you'll see other people all around the world. If you want to see my adventures, I do similar to Streaming the Magic. I explore the history of cities all around the world and its mysteries and secrets and food. Check out Urbanist Live. Click Urbanist Live on Facebook and you'll find me. Also, the link is also right on the description of this video. And if someone can write it down in the comments, I'll be so grateful. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. Press that heart button for a final view of Paris. Thank you so much for watching, and as I always say on my own show, keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. À bientôt, Paris.